Coco. Coco.
Khoisan people of southern Africa. Have you ever wondered who the oldest humans on Earth might be? Get ready to meet the fascinating Khoisan people of southern Africa. Hey there, curious minds. Today, we're going on an exciting journey to learn about a group of people who might just be the oldest humans around. They're called the Khoisan, and they live in southern Africa. Who are the Khoisan? The Khoisan are not just one group, but two related groups of people who have lived in southern Africa for a very long time. Some scientists think they've been there for up to 140,000 years. That's a really, really long time ago. These two groups are called the Khoikhoi and the Sān. They're sometimes called by other names too, like Bushmen or First People. The word Khoisan is a way to talk about both groups together. Where do they live? The Khoisan people live in several countries in southern Africa. You can find them in places like Botswana, Namibia, Angola, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, and northern South Africa. Many Khoisan live in a big desert called the Kalahari. They know how to find food and water in this tough place where not many other people can live. What makes the Khoisan special? The Khoisan are special for many reasons. Let's explore the reasons. The oldest humans? Scientists think the Khoisan might be the oldest group of humans still around today. Their ancestors may have lived in Africa before other people left to explore the rest of the world. That means the Khoisan family tree goes way, way back, maybe even 150,000 years. About 22,000 years ago, the Khoisan were the biggest group of humans on Earth. Can you imagine that? Now there aren't as many of them, but their history is super important. Clicking languages. One of the coolest things about the Khoisan is their language. They use special sounds called clicks when they talk. These clicks sound a bit like the noise you make when you pop your cheek with your finger. The Khoisan languages have more of these click sounds than any other languages in the world. Some people think that the more clicks a language has, the older it is. And guess what? Khoisan languages have the most clicks. Let's try to make some click sounds together. Can you make a pop sound with your lips? That's kind of like one of the clicks in Khoisan languages. Living off the land. The Khoisan are super smart when it comes to living in nature. They know how to find food and water in places where other people might not be able to. They can use over 1,000 different plants for food and medicine. Here's a cool fact. The Khoisan use a plant called the Hoodia gordoni cactus to help them not feel hungry when they're out hunting. Now, some people are using this same plant to make medicines that help people lose weight. The Khoisan are what we call hunter-gatherers. This means they get their food by hunting animals and gathering plants from the wild. They don't farm or keep animals like cows or sheep. Unique looks. The Khoisan look a bit different from other people in Africa. They often have light brown skin and eyes that look a bit slanted, kind of like people from East Asia. But here's the funny thing. They're not related to Asian people at all. Some people wonder if the Khoisan have Asian ancestors, but that's not true. It's the other way around. The Khoisan are so old that they were around before people first left Africa to go to other parts of the world. So if anything, Asian people might have a tiny bit of DNA that's similar to the Khoisan, not the other way around. The Khoisan today. Sadly, life isn't easy for the Khoisan these days. It's getting harder and harder for them to live the way they always have. Many of them can't be hunter-gatherers anymore because the land they used to live on is being used for other things. Some Khoisan are trying to keep their old ways of life alive, while others are moving to cities and living more like other people in their countries. It's a big change for them. Why the Khoisan are important? The Khoisan are super important for many reasons. First, they help us understand human history. By studying the Khoisan, scientists can learn about how humans lived a long, long time ago. It's like having a living time capsule. The Khoisan's DNA, languages, and traditions give us clues about how early humans survived and spread across the world. They also know lots of cool stuff about nature. The Khoisan have incredible knowledge about the plants and animals in their environment. They know which plants can be used as medicine, which ones are good to eat, and which ones might be dangerous. This knowledge is really valuable, especially as we look for new medicines and ways to live more sustainably. The Khoisan languages are unique and special. The clicking sounds in their languages are really different from other languages in the world. Studying these languages helps us understand how human language developed and how diverse it can be. It's like discovering a whole new way of talking. The Khoisan remind us that there are many different ways to live. Not everyone in the world lives the same way, and that's what makes our world so interesting. The Khoisan show us that it's possible to live in harmony with nature, taking only what we need. In a world where we're using up a lot of resources, we could learn a lot from their way of life. The art and stories of the Khoisan are also really important. They've been making rock paintings for thousands of years, and these paintings tell us about how they lived and what they believed. Their stories about animals, the stars, and the spirit world are like windows into a different way of seeing the world. Finally, the Khoisan are important because they're part of the human family. Every culture has something valuable to offer, and losing the Khoisan culture would be like losing a piece of our shared human heritage. By learning about and protecting the Khoisan, we're preserving an important part of what it means to be human. Fun facts about the Khoisan. Now, let's explore some cool and interesting facts about the Khoisan that you might not know. Did you know that the Khoisan are amazing runners? Some Khoisan hunters practice what's called persistence hunting. This means they chase an animal for hours and hours until it gets too tired to run anymore. They can do this in the hot sun because they're so good at finding water and pacing themselves. It's like a super long game of tag. The Khoisan are incredibly skilled at finding water in very dry places. They can spot tiny signs that most of us would miss completely. For example, they know how to find water by looking at the behavior of animals and insects. They might follow a trail of ants to find a hidden water source, or watch the flight patterns of certain birds that only live near water. It's like they have a secret map of water sources in their heads. Did you know that the Khoisan make amazing rock art? For thousands of years, they've been painting on cave walls and rocks. These paintings show animals, people, and even spirits from their beliefs. Some of these paintings are so old that scientists use special tools just to figure out when they were made. Here's a cool fact. The Khoisan use arrows with poison on the hunting tips. But this isn't just any poison. It comes from a special beetle called the Diamphidia. The Khoisan carefully prepared this poison and put it on their arrow tips. It's so effective that they can hunt animals much bigger than themselves with just a small arrow. The Khoisan have incredible knowledge about the stars. They use the night sky like a calendar and a map. They have stories about different stars and constellations, and they use the positions of the stars to know when certain plants will be ready to eat or when animals will be migrating. It's like having a whole universe of information right above their heads. Another interesting fact is that some Khoisan groups traditionally use ostrich eggshells to store water. They bury these eggshells filled with water in the sand as a kind of natural water bottle. When they come back to that spot later, they have a fresh supply of cool water waiting for them. How clever is that? Helping the Khoisan. It's important to help the Khoisan keep their culture alive. Some people are working to protect the land where the Khoisan live and to make sure they have the right to live the way they want to. Other people are helping to write down Khoisan languages and stories so they won't be forgotten. And some are teaching young Khoisan people about their history and traditions. What we can learn from the Khoisan, even though the Khoisan live very differently from most of us, we can learn a lot from them. They teach us to respect nature and to use only what we need. They show us that you don't need a lot of stuff to be happy. And they remind us that every culture is special and worth protecting. We've learned so much about the Khoisan. They might be the oldest group of humans. They have super cool clicking languages, and they're experts at living in nature. Even though life is changing for the Khoisan, their amazing history and culture will always be an important part of our human story. The next time you hear someone talking about the first humans or the oldest people on Earth, you can tell them all about the Khoisan. Isn't it awesome to know about these incredible people? Remember, our world is full of amazing people and cultures, and there's always more to learn. Keep being curious. Thanks for joining me on this adventure to learn about the Khoisan. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about fascinating people and cultures from around the world, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell too, so you never miss a new video. And I'll see you in the next video.